So, Nakia, as a real estate agent, what can they be doing to stay proactive during a transaction when it comes to more towards the end of the transaction, making sure everybody knows where and what time closing is, how the client should be sending the money to the attorney, things like that. What can they be doing to make things more smooth on that front?
That's a great question because here's the deal. I noticed lately that agents, especially the buyer's agent, is not notifying all of the parties about settlement and about closing. So here's what I coach agents to do. Maybe 3 to 5 days, at least 3, but between 3 to 5 days before closing, maybe around the walkthrough time, they should, number one, compose an email to all parties of the transaction. Make sure both agents are on there. The settlement company, the lender is the most important person in this deal. Okay, right now at closing, the lender is the most important person in the deal. They should compose an email. They should include the time, the place, including an address now, okay? If there's a suite number, put the suite number in there. The time, the place, location, they need to include that in an email that goes out to all of the parties. The other thing is that they need to make sure that the CD was sent out. Maybe that the buyer knows how much money they need to bring to the table. On the listing side, they need to make sure that the seller is good with the proceeds or understands the proceeds. Because the last thing we want is for a seller to get to the table and be like, this is not enough money for my house. Okay, I've had that happen personally. Okay, seller quit 4:30 on a Friday and did not sell their house, okay, because they did not have the information. Now, it was a FISBO, so that also gets us into a whole different topic, why you need a real estate agent, okay? But all parties need to be aware of everything that's going on at the close or with the closing. If all parties aren't aware, somebody's not going to know. Last but not least, don't forget to make sure that the buyer knows how much money they need to close the deal. There's going to be a wire. Now everything's a wire. So they need to check with the settlement officer, whether it's a title company, attorney, whomever in their state. They need to check to make sure that they have been in contact with the buyer and the buyer has been in contact with them and that they know that they need this money. And maybe on the morning of settlement, make sure the money is at the settlement location or with the settlement officer. Because if it's not, we also have a problem. I'm going to go one step further too. I love settlements on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Right in the middle of the day, maybe afternoon to midday, between 11 and 2. Best times. You know why? Because if you, as the lender, need to do something, you can do it in the morning before closing. Or if it's, pushed towards 11 or early in the day, you know that you need to do things the night before, the day before. And if it's in the afternoon, not after 2, then you still have an hour or 2 before banks close, before businesses close, and that the business, and that you can fulfill business things or financial things. Because if settlements at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and banks are closed, everybody's gone home for the day, nothing can happen. What if the buyer gets to closing without enough money and they have to go back to the bank? Well, it's 4:30, 5 o'clock, no banks are open. So 11 to 2, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are ideal for closing times with a settlement officer, okay? Make sure, we got to spread the word, okay? Mm-hmm. Especially for you. I know you want your job to be
morning closings.
No, and no Friday afternoon late closings. It does not help if there's a problem.